Hi, my name is Trevor Wright, and I'm going to be presenting my automated climate control system for a snake tank. So what I have here is a 4-year-old milk snake, and they live in an enclosure like this, usually bigger, but since they are cold-blooded, they need to have their temperature regulated. They can't generate their own body heat, so normally we would use a heat lamp to bring the temperature up. They also need to have their humidity regulated, normally between 40 and 60%, because if it is too humid, they can get blisters underneath their scales, and if it's not humid enough, they can start to get respiratory issues with their lungs. So I have designed here a project that will automatically control the temperature as well as the humidity for a range that will be safe for them and that requires little maintenance for me. So it'll just take care of everything by itself. So let me put him down and I can get started on this project. So what you can see over here is the brain behind the project. This is a Raspberry Pi, the Model 3. It's going to be controlling everything that I have. Right here you can see the temperature and humidity is displayed so that I can see the conditions inside of the tank. This information is from inside the tank. Right on top of this log there is a DHT11 temperature and humidity sensor. Pretty inexpensive sensor, but it works quite well. We get the information off of that sensor into the Raspberry Pi. It displays the information here. And then what we do with that information is actually seen in this code up here. I did do the code in C. It was a little bit easier for me to work with, though the Raspberry Pi does also work well with Python. When I scroll down, you can see that we take the information, and if the temperature is below 72 degrees, it commands a relay to go low, which will actually turn the relay on. And then if it gets above 80 degrees, it will command the relay to go high, which will actually turn the relay back off. Same thing here. These two conditions are for the humidity. It wants to keep it between 50 and 60% humidity just for the sake of this presentation. Normally it would be about 40% and 60%. So right over here we have the relays. One relay is going to control this outlet, which I have plugged in the heat lamp. You can follow this over here, and it just goes to this little 50-watt halogen heat lamp. It's lower power use than a lot of other heat lamps, but it makes a very concentrated basking spot right under here. That's going to bring the temperature up. The ambient temperature inside of the house will bring the temperature back down when it gets too hot. Now, if you saw this red light come on, this relay actually just clicked to turn the humidifier off. It was on, bringing the humidity up. Basically, these two plugs, and the heat lamp just turned on because the temperature was below 72. But for the humidifier, this is a Vicks humidifier. It boils water and lets the hot steam come up. Since heat rises, a lot of that vapor wants to get stuck up in here. But right here we have a fan that actually blows all that humid air into the tank, and it will bring the humidity up in the tank up to the level that we want. And then this relay will make sure those shut down. The reason these relays are opposite of each other is because the heat lamp relay is normally closed and the humidifier relay is normally open. That way, if the file gets corrupted or the Raspberry Pi loses power, the heat lamp will default to the on position and the humidifier will default to the off position. This is the safest combination for an extended period. The snake can use the heat lamp if they need to, but they can also go away from it. We don't want to leave that humidifier on because, as I said, if the humidity gets too high, it can cause them blisters, which is a more damaging condition for the snake. So this is my project. It automates the temperature. It's completely controlled by the Raspberry Pi. And fortunately, since the Raspberry Pi can also be displayed to this screen, you can actually change any of the code, any of the parameters on the device, instead of something like an Arduino that you would have to hook up to another computer. Everything can be programmed right here within the Raspberry Pi, so it's all a self-contained and self-sustainable unit. Thank you.